You may be seated. My name is Kelby Davis, and it is an absolute privilege to be your MC for today. On behalf of the family, Odessa Fire and Rescue, the city of Odessa, I want you to know how much your attendance here today is appreciated. Today is a day of remembering and honoring, celebrating, and mourning. But I have a feeling we're going to have a few laughs as well. At this point, I will go ahead and I will welcome up Lieutenant Huerta's uncle, Raul, to open us up in prayer.
Good morning to everybody. I'd like to say thank you to this honoring you're giving to my uncle Isai. Muy buenos días a todos para mi familia. Les damos gracias por estar presentes. Thanks to be present at this honoring for Isai. It's really hard for our family. We're passing through this hard situation. I worked for this place for so many years, 25 years, at least physically here in this Coliseum. And I never thought I was going to be here speaking my nephew's funeral. It's hard to process, hard to think this is my being lost in another parents, actually nephews for my wife. This is one of the hardest loss I ever had in my life. I'd like to say thank you for your prayers. Les quiero dar gracias por sus oraciones. La oración hace diferencia. Prayers makes a difference in our lives. Keep praying for my brother, his family. I know one thing I like to say is never forget Isai. Always take care of yourselves. I'd like to say thank you to all the officers, firefighters, City of Odessa, the Ector County. Always watch the back of your brothers. I know y'all do. Yo sé que lo hacen. But always. I know this is a really sad loss. And this is a privilege to be here at this moment, open this ceremony for my nephew Isai. He was a good kid. Él era un buen niño, buen joven. And I was thinking a minute ago, because we bullied him when he was little during Christmas. We always tell him, quiere llorar. He wants to cry. And we start doing it back and forth, back and forth. Lo hacíamos llorar porque le decíamos, quiere llorar, quiere llorar. And now remember his face, stretching his face, and look and turn to looks everybody around him, volteaba a ver a todo mundo. And we just keep going and going, quiere llorar, quiere llorar. And guess what? He cried. He did. And I was there sitting down there, and I was thinking, I wish I can hear Isai saying, Tío, quiere llorar. I was feeling in my heart like, Isai, que me diga, quiere llorar, tío. Y lo repita, and he repeated it back and forth, back and forth. We're not going to forget Isai. We love him. We love our family. Thanks for everything. Thanks what you do for him. I'm never going to forget this. We give you honor, the ones that serve honor, the Bible says. God is always in control. It don't look like he's in control, but it is. For a lot of our people, maybe God lost his control, but he's not. I just want to give the glory of God for those 29 years that he borrows Isai. Thank you very much. And I'd like to do a prayer for this ceremony. Quiero hacer una oración por esta ceremonia. Si gusta, póngase de pie. If you want to stand up on your feet, please. Amantísimo buen Padre Celestial, en esta hora te doy gracias, Señor. Porque hasta aquí, Señor, has sido bueno. Hasta aquí tu misericordia y tu mano de poder no se ha recortado de nuestra vida, Señor. Y en esta hora, Señor, queremos darte gracias, Señor, por la vida de Isai, por esos 29 años que tú, Señor, le regalaste. Gracias por él. Señor, cuida, Señor, a todos sus compañeros de igual manera, Señor. Y que todo lo que se haga en este lugar, Señor, que tu nombre sea glorificado de igual manera. Y honremos la vida de Isai en este día. En el nombre de Jesús. Amén. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Raul. Today we will have the privilege to hear from several of you to honor Lieutenant Huerta. And I wish you could see what I get to see right now, because this is a very loved man. This room is just full, you can tell, of people that came today to honor and show respect. And so we are going to start today by hearing from Captain Ryan Jones. If Ryan will go ahead and come to the stage today, and he's going to share a few words with us.
Man, this is awesome, guys. If y'all could all see what I could see right now. I would do anything right now to see his face. There's no doubt in my mind he'd be sitting somewhere right there. He'd be giving a ridiculous face right back at me, trying to get me to laugh. There's no doubt in my mind. And you guys all know what I'm talking about. Before I continue, I would like to thank his beautiful wife, Mariah, the amazing Huerta family, and for giving me the absolute honor and privilege of speaking about this man today. But before we go any further, I'd like everyone that is able, please stand. Give this man a round of applause for more reasons than I can even begin to mention. Thank you, guys. Isai was so proud to be a paramedic and a firefighter. He loved this job, he loved serving his community, and he loved the people that he worked beside. He was so excited to promote to captain once the position opened up, and there was absolutely no doubt in my mind. Thank you, Isai. I said he was going to do something. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that he would be one of the very best. And real quick, while he's doing that, raise your hand if you are on the captain's list right now. Raise your hand, fellas. Keep your hand raised if Huerta beat you. My man. Sorry, guys. There's no doubt in my mind that Isai would have led with his heart, his smile, and his ability to make people feel like family. There's also no doubt in my mind that he was smiling all the way over here from Station 7 as the massive line of fire trucks, ambulances, and police vehicles escorted him. I can hear him saying right now something like, "Man, am I really that big? You guys had to use Engine 7 to get me over there?" He would be so incredibly proud to see all of his brothers and sisters here today standing beside him one last time. That man has not been left alone since June 14th. There wasn't a single solitary time since then, not a second, not a minute, where that man was left alone. He wasn't left alone that day. He wasn't left alone in that home. He was never alone. Thank you to each and every one of you for showing up for him. That means a lot. If anybody wants to know what it means to be a firefighter, all they have to do is look around this room, because today it is very obvious that the brotherhood doesn't end when the radio goes silent. It doesn't end when the shift is over. It doesn't end when the apparatus is parked, and it certainly doesn't end here. Today, everyone showed up for you, bro. Thank you. The last few days, I've asked myself one question over and over. How do you summarize a life? How do you summarize a friendship, especially as bright as Isai's, and a friendship as special as ours? Over the next 5 minutes or 4 hours, depending on the applause and laughter breaks, I'd like to talk about Isai Huerta, Isai, Huerta Poo Pants, and Midget Baby Huerta. And I'm sure there's other names out there that you guys have that I probably can't repeat. So I'm going to just, y'all can keep those. For those of you that are interested in hearing about some of his more problematic qualities, we can discuss those in Barn A, because there's no doubt in my mind that speech is going to take considerably longer than this one. So, no doubt in my mind. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ryan Jones. I've been with Odessa Fire Rescue for 16 years now, and I've been a captain for the last 6. I first met Isai when he was a rookie, and I was an engineer at Station 5. Literally right there at the kitchen sink while washing dishes, I somehow convinced the little man that installing synthetic turf was a ton of fun, and he was excited. That I was looking for another firefighter to work alongside me. At the time, I owned Jones Landscape Company. Myself and several firefighters spent our days off digging holes in the soft West Texas ground, raking thousands of yards of gravel, and installing synthetic turf in the brisk 105-plus degree weather. We had a lot of fun, didn't we? You guys are eyeballing me, I see you. With that being said, Isai started working with us shortly after, and no matter what we were doing, he had a smile on his face. Over the next several years, Isai and I spent almost every day together from sunup to sundown, and I'm so thankful for those days. For those who know Lindsay and I, you know that we had a beautiful son named Raxton. Raxton had a very rare form of muscular dystrophy. He was bedbound and on a ventilator 24/7. I say that because honestly, Raxton could be very intimidating to people, but not for Huerta, not for a single solitary second. There wasn't a single time that I can remember when he walked through our house, he would shut me up mid-conversation, go into Raxton's room, give him a high five, and what I mean by giving Raxton a high five, he would pick Raxton's hand up and give him a high five. He would give him a hug and a kiss on the head. Every single time it made Raxton's eyes light up. I'm sure he had one of those goofy faces and he was wearing that smile. There's no doubt in my mind. In 2018, after years in business, I decided to close the doors at Jones Landscape and move on to something different. I told Isai that Lindsay and I were going to take that piece of land next to that loud power plant and build an RV park. Most people thought I had absolutely lost my mind. Isai looked at me and said, "Hell yeah, brother, I'm in." When people told me my ideas were crazy, he never did. He was always there to support me. He was always there to pick me up. And he was always there to dig even more trenches and even more holes, which he absolutely loved. He didn't love it, guys. We spent countless days playing in the dirt. And again, he was there every single day from sunup to sundown until the projects were finished. That little man had my back every day. Some of the best days of my life were with Isai, and some of the absolute hardest. On May 5th of 2020, our son Raxton passed away. As many of you know, it was one of the hardest times that our family has ever experienced. Lindsay and I did what we could to survive it. Sometimes it meant traveling. Sometimes it meant working to keep our minds busy. But no matter what, Isai was there. He was there for me. He was there for Lindsay. He was there on days when I couldn't be. And every single Mother's Day after Raxton passed away, he made sure Lindsay had something to remind her that she was still a mom. That's just who he was. There was even a running joke that Lindsay and I were going to adopt him. And honestly, if people wouldn't have thought it was super weird, we probably would have at the time. Mariah told us that Isai's family said that they got him to 18 years old, and the Jones family took him after. You guys did a great job. And we're at the family, let me tell you, it wasn't easy. I remember Clayton King, I don't know where you are, buddy. I remember Clayton King standing there one day saying, "Man, what about me?" I told him, "Absolutely not, bro." And Isai popped up right there and he said, "That's my mama, Lindsay, not yours, bro." King, I'm sorry, man. You're going to have to fight Mariah for that position now. About 6 years ago, we changed the Jones Ranch to the Raxton Jones Ranch to honor our son. And then once again, I had a crazy idea. Why not raise exotics? Of course, Isai was one of the first people that I told. And of course, his response was once again, "Hell yeah, brother, I'm in." Before long, our ranch became his home away from home. Now, I debated on telling this next story, but apparently the family has already heard it, so it was a definite must. So Isai and I were doing some ranch work, spreading gravel near one of the gates, and I had told him multiple times, "Whatever you do, do not touch the fence." To give you an idea, this fence was designed by a fella in South Africa who designed and built these electric fences to keep leopards out of breeding pens in South Africa, okay? So when I meant don't touch the fence, Huerta didn't stand a chance. Not 60 seconds later, you would have thought a sniper hidden behind an oak tree shot Isai in the leg. The man screamed like the little girl, rolled around on the ground like a 2-year-old, and no, I didn't jump out of the backhoe to help him because I was laughing way too damn hard. So, fast forward a couple weeks later, I was taking pictures of animals with a camera that Lindsay had got me, and the next thing that I knew, the sniper got me. I had to literally tap the top of my head against that electric fence, and it literally went from my head to my toes and everywhere in between. It was terrible, and my wife was laughing hysterically. That fence was no joke. About 20 minutes later, after I regained my dignity, and honestly just got better cell service. I called Isai and I apologized. And yes, I did turn it down. But before I finish, I want to talk about the absolute love of his life, Mariah. The woman who attempted to keep him grounded, which, as everyone in this room knows, impossible. I remember the first time he told Lindsay and I about you, Mariah. He was like a little kid on Christmas morning. He was so excited for us to meet her. He was so proud of you. The first time we met you, Lindsay and I had literally just got home from the ranch. Isai called and said, "Hey man, are you and Mama Lindsay home? Mariah and I are headed over." And I knew that there was no stopping him. Didn't matter how long we had been there. I told Lindsay, and she's like, "I don't have time to get ready." And she had just enough time to throw a hat on. And he was at the front door. Not knocking on the door, he was banging on the door. I still remember the look on his face whenever you walked through the door. He was proud. He loved you. And over the years, we got to watch that love grow. From trips to Colorado, to countless days at the ranch, to Isai asking your father for permission to marry you in a deer blind at the Raxton Jones Ranch. To a few months later, getting a FaceTime call while Lindsay and I were checking animals, telling us that you two had secretly gotten married and we couldn't tell anybody. You guys have no idea how difficult that was. I was so excited for you guys. I knew that you were the perfect woman for him. I am so thankful that the two of you got to experience that kind of love together. I could stand up here for days telling stories about Isai, and I know that many people in this room could do the exact same if they had the chance. I am so proud of him. Losing him feels like I lost a piece of myself, but loving him is something that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Because some friendships aren't just memories, they're imprints. His laugh will echo forever in the best parts of who I am. Isai would want us to keep living. He would want us to laugh. He would want us to love our families. He would want us to show up for people the way that he showed up for all of us. And I'll tell you something else this last week that has taught me. I don't think that I have told so many grown men that I love them in my entire life. You don't realize how fragile life can be until something like this happens. You think that there will be another shift, another phone call, another cup of coffee, another joke, another day. And honestly, if Isai were sitting right here right now, he'd probably look at me and said, "Man, that is so gay." And then there's no doubt in my mind that we would proceed to stare awkwardly into each other's eyes for as long as possible. And we would both say, "Love you, bro." And every single firefighter knows that look that I'm talking about. But the truth is, I do love you. Thank you for every laugh. Thank you for playing in the dirt with me. Thank you for always going along with my ridiculous ideas. Thank you for loving my family as your own. Thank you for being one of the greatest friends that a man could ever ask for. Thank you for being my brother. And until we see each other again, I promise I will keep living. I will keep laughing. And every once in a while, when I hear somebody scream after they touch that electric fence, I'm going to think of you. I love you, bro.
Captain Jones, that was beautiful. Will y'all help me welcome to the stage Fire Chief with the Odessa Fire and Rescue, Jason Cotton.
What a beautiful sight. Absolutely amazing. Good afternoon. Mariah, to you and the entire Huerta family, thank you for allowing Odessa Fire Rescue to stand beside you today as we honor Lieutenant Isai Huerta. To our OFR family, our brothers and sisters in the fire service, and everyone gathered here today, thank you for being here to honor a man who meant so much to so many people. The past 9 days have been some of the hardest days our department has ever faced. Lieutenant Huerta began his career with Odessa Fire Rescue on April 10th, 2017, as a fire cadet. He became dual certified as a firefighter EMT in June of 2017, and later obtained his paramedic certification. In September 2024, he was promoted to the rank of lieutenant. And just this past January, he was named Odessa Fire Rescue's Firefighter of the Year for 2025. On August 9th of 2022, Isai was awarded the Life Saving Award from the Ector County Sheriff's Office after saving the life of an off-duty deputy who suffered cardiac arrest from a massive heart attack. Those accomplishments only tell a small part of the story of who Isai was as a firefighter paramedic. The bigger story is who he was as a person. Isai brought joy into every room he walked into. He loved this job. He loved serving people. He loved the brotherhood and sisterhood of the fire service. It showed in his smile, his humor, his personality, and the way he treated everyone. My favorite personal memory of Isai is simple. Every time he and I saw each other, he would raise his arms out wide, waiting for a big hug from, according to him, El Jefe. That was Isai. He made people feel loved. He made people feel valued. He made people feel better simply by being around him. That kind of impact cannot be measured by awards, rank, or years of service. Since the night we lost Isai, we have witnessed an incredible outpouring of love and support from this community and from the fire service across Texas and beyond. Agencies from across the state have reached out asking how they can help. Fire departments, law enforcement officers, honor guardsmen, pipe and drum corps personnel, and countless members of the fire service have stepped forward to support our department and the entire Huerta family. Our community has wrapped its arms around us. People have prayed for us, cried with us, and stood right there beside us. That support matters. It reminds us that Lieutenant Huerta's life, service, and sacrifice have touched far more people than we will ever fully know. To Mariah and the Huerta family, I want you to know this. Odessa Fire Rescue loves you. All of you. We are here for you, and we want to honor Isai in a way that is meaningful to you and your family. After today, our responsibility to honor him will continue from this point forward. To our OFR family, I know how deeply every one of you is hurting. I'm hurting right there with you. This loss has shaken every part of this department. We must continue to stand beside one another through the difficult days ahead. Check on each other. Take care of each other. And as Captain Jones said, love each other. We must not carry this pain alone. One of the best ways we can honor Isai is to continue doing what he loved, being a firefighter paramedic, serving our community, answering the call, taking care of people, and continuing to do the best damn job in the world. He would want that. Isai would want that. He would want us to continue loving the job. He would want us to continue laughing together. He would want us to continue taking care of each other like family, because that's what the fire service is. We are one big family, from the front to the back. Family does not walk away when things get hard. Gets hard. Family stands together. Family hurts together. And family heals together. We will honor Lieutenant Isai Huerta by moving forward together. We will carry his memory with us in our firehouses, on our apparatus, on every call, and in every life we touch from this point forward. Isai will never be forgotten. Lieutenant Isai Huerta, thank you for being the man you were. We love you, brother.
I had the privilege of marrying into the fire family 15 years ago, and I want you to know every word they say is true. And so just once again, I echo, if you could just see the sea of beauty in front of me, and all of y'all are so precious, and I'm so thankful, Mariah, that you have them for the rest of your life. Now, I have a feeling we're gonna have a few laughs, because there's a slideshow, and I can only imagine some of the joy that's about to be on that screen. So if y'all will please turn your attention to the screen.
such a lonely day, and it's mine, the most loneliest day of my life. Such a lonely day should be banned. It's a day that I can't stand. The most loneliest day of my life. The most loneliest day of my life. Such a lonely day shouldn't exist. It's a day that I'll never miss. Such a lonely day, and it's mine, the most loneliest day of my life. And if you go, I wanna go with you. And if you die, I wanna die with you. Take your hand and walk away. The most loneliest day of my life. The most loneliest day of my life. The most loneliest day of my life. Such a lonely day, and it's mine. It's a day that I'm glad I survived.
Hello. I'm a stand-up comedian, and this isn't where you want to do stand-up comedy. And I'm gonna need your guys' help, please. Just, okay, heads up, I'm not like a crazy dude off the street that was like, oh, that looks like a good place to try out some jokes. No, Easy's, one of his last wishes was he wanted a comedian at his funeral. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Surely they were gonna get like somebody way better looking or taller or something, right? Picked me. So, hey, Odessa, good to be here. All right, this is gonna be weird. Listen, we need to have a talk. I know there's a lot of people in this room right now that think stand-up comedy at a funeral is a bad idea, and I'm like 5 of those people in this room. Okay, this is not an easy task. This is rough, all right? And I'm gonna try my best, and we're gonna figure it out together, right? Guys, you guys look great, by the way. You guys all match. That's awesome, right? How embarrassing. Anyway, man, this is a beautiful crowd. I'm absolutely honored and blessed to be here. I'm not from this department. I'm from Austin, and I drove out here yesterday, and I met the guys, and I've been hearing about Easy all day and all last night, and I think me and this dude would have had a beer or 20, you know, sending pictures of our butts to each other. That sounds cool. You know, you can 3D print this dude's butt from all the pictures that are on these guys' phones. just different angles. He's in the shower. I mean, boy was a little thick, but he looked good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, boy was thick, but in all the right places. You know what I'm saying, Playboy? Come on. Oh, man. You know, we had a firefighter pass in Austin. His name was Corbin Hunt, and he was great. A lot like Easy. Big personality. He loved everybody. Everybody loved him, and he passed. And it's always those dudes that pass. It's never the guys that, like, forget to fill the coffee in the morning, right? It's never that dude, you know? It's always the dude that, like, comes and gets you at 3 a.m. It's never the dude that's like, hey, I'm going to be 15 minutes late again. And you're like, sick, awesome. But he had a saying, and it's like a personal motto to me, and I love it. If you're going to be a bro, you got to make bro moves. And so I am stoked to be here to make a bro move for Easy and do this, no matter if I fail or what. So thank you for having me again. And here's the deal. This is for him and these guys and you if you want, okay? I ran my jokes by them. They're cool with it. And if you're not, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Okay? And this isn't like church growing up. Anybody raised Catholic? Where are my Catholics at? All the Hispanics, never mind. All right, cool. Huerta family, lo siento por mi español, es muy malo. And that's it. All right, cool. That's what I do on calls, too. I'll go to a call, and it's the Spanish speaking, and if you tell anybody in Austin that you speak Spanish, they're like, oh, you're fluent. I'm like, no, I can, like, order a burrito, you know? I can't run an OB call and deliver a baby in Spanish, you know? Jeez. Ay, 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 right? Anyway, sorry. That was dumb. That was a dumb joke. Oh, man. Yeah, so forgot my train of thought. It's okay. We're being bros. Everybody's cool. So we're here to honor Easy. We're here to honor him, and we're here to mourn the loss of a public figure in a really nice double wide. Yeah, that one was dark. I'm sorry. But guys, it was a nice double wide. Bro, did you see it? It had a metal roof, not a tire in sight, no pit bull chained up out front. This was a nice double wide, all right? So I'm just saying, if you're going to pick a double wide, that's the one to go with, all right? That's all I'm saying, man. Man, I'm a fireman. I'm a fireman in Austin, like I said. I haven't been on the job too long. I've been doing comedy a lot longer, so they're like, how's comedy going? Well, I had to get a career, so that's how that's going. You don't know how tight you get with your crew, right? Your crew, like, you spend a third of your life at the fire station, right? It's like, this isn't like Bennigan's where we're like, here, we're family. I'm like, no, we're not. We have a bad month, you're gonna fire me. That's true. Like, they're not getting rid of you, right? I mean, I'm probably losing my job after this set, but besides that, it's okay. I heard Odessa's hiring. Applause break at a funeral? We're doing it, dude. Thank you. Holy crap. I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to my crew, right? I'm attached to Station 28. We're a rescue company. Everybody, I love my crew. I love them so much, man. They're awesome. And I called my captain because I was nervous about this, right? Like this, I don't do this every day. This isn't like my thing, by the way. If you go and look me up, they're like, who's the comedian that does funerals? Like this is a one-off, dude. I'm not in the obituaries like, oh, Jones died, cool, you know? We'll hit up his family real quick, like, hey, I got a type 5. No, this is a one-off. So I hit up my captain, and I was like, Cap, you know, just looking for a little bit of wisdom, right? A lot of officers in the front. I bet you guys dole out wisdom all the time, don't you? And also, hey, if my chief asks I'm sick, I took a sick day to be here, so. Anyway, I called my captain, and I was like, hey, Cap, I'm doing this funeral thing. And he was like, why'd they pick you? You've never made me laugh once. I'm like, that is not true, okay? So I hung up, called one of my best friends, a dude at my station who's a tailboard with me, and I was like, Champ, what's up, dude? He was like, hey, man. I was like, hey, I'm doing this funeral thing, and I was like, do you have any advice, any words of encouragement? He goes, yeah, lose 10 pounds or they're not going to take you seriously. Which is kind of nonsense because he's fatter than I am, like he is. We're in a weight loss contest at work right now, and he's over there just raw dogging it. I'm taking Retta that I got off of TikTok. You know what I'm talking about? And the good stuff. I had to get a translator for it, dude, to order. I had to get a Bitcoin. You know how much a Bitcoin is? Me neither, but I had to get one, and it sucked. Neither here nor there. And I was like, you know what? You know who I'm going to text? I'm going to text my lieutenant, Lori Wagner. Tough, cool. I mean, what a firefighter wants to be, right? I text her. I look up to this woman so much. It's incredible. I was like, LT, I shot her a text. I like poured my heart out, like, I'm so nervous. I want to do good. I want to do all these things. And she sent back, who is this? So I'm going to go it on my own. You know what I mean? That's fun. Huerta wasn't just a lieutenant, he's a paramedic too. That's amazing. Is there, like, most of you guys are paramedics, right? Make some noise if you're a paramedic in the room. All right, cool. Don't act like you're proud about it or anything like that. Don't act like you went through a bunch of school to learn how to do that. Anyway, where are my EMTs at? Any EMTs in here? All right. See that? It's just nothing. It's so mad. Dude, being a paramedic is so impressive. I don't think the civilians in the room, I don't think you guys understand what these guys do. These guys have to be able to get a vein in the back of a bumpy ambulance, and we've seen the roads in Odessa. That's insane, right? You know what I mean? Local humor, crushing it. Anyway, they can give fentanyl, right? Like they can give that drug, right? Like my cousin just takes it, but they can give it. You know what I'm talking about? Like I'm an EMT basic. I don't know if you know what that means. That means I am worthless on a medical scene. I'm there for moral support and to pump chest. That's it. That's firefighter talk for CPR. So if you guys are ever talking about in a bar, you're like, what's up, you pumped chest today? Don't ask that. It's going to be weird. But anyway, like it's incredible, like just the different layers, right? Like you guys can do, like when we go to a CPR, like paramedics come in, dude, they're getting IOs, they're pushing epi. I'm over there like pink pony club dancing, like just trying to stick with rhythm, you know? Like they can give all that. I can give Band-Aids and forehead kisses. That's all I'm able to give, like medically. You know what I'm talking about? Man, it's kind of weird being on the other side of the medical profession, right? Like when I was a kid, like I grew up in the fire department. My dad is a fireman. He was an EMT basic too, so whatever. He was an underachiever as well. Anyway, so, but it was kind of cool, right? It was like you'd see like, oh, this guy's a paramedic, like. But now being on the other side, I'm like, this guy's a paramedic? You kidding me? The guy that just sent me a nude picture of him in the shower, he's a paramedic? This is who's giving me the drugs? Okay, you know? Like when I was a kid, you know, and when I was a kid, someone would be like, my mom's a nurse. And I'm like, oh, that's amazing, right? Now that I'm older and I know nurses, they're like, my mom's a nurse. And I'm like, yeah, I know alcoholics too, kid. That's not impressive. Oh, man. I reached out to a lot of comics about this show because I wanted to do it right. I really did. I wanted to make sure I honor him and try to make people laugh and try to make today a little lighter. You know, I mean, this is a heavy, heavy deal, right? Heavy deal for a heavy boy. You know what I'm talking about, boys? You guys seen it? I'm going to hell for sure for this, right? Like, there's no way I'm getting into heaven after this, right? No? Anyway? All right, cool. I was talking to a comic, and he was like, how did he pass? I said, he passed on a call. He passed at a fire. And he goes, man, that's a bad way to go out. And I was like, it is, man. I had a friend who died in a house fire a few years ago. He wasn't putting out the fire. He wasn't doing what Huerta was. He was cooking meth, but that's totally separate. That's not even a part of the joke, you know. That's just a fact, you know. But he said something to me. He was like, man, I'm like, I don't know, you know. He went out doing what he loved, surrounded by the people he loved, and I think that's what any one of us would want, right? Like, I don't know. That's my thought. I'm going to get out of here in a minute. I'm going to tell you guys a final story. I swear this is a true story, and we'll see where it goes, right? So, guys, I need to tell you guys a little secret, right? Raise your hand if you've had a first in on the nozzle. That's so many. Oh my God. That's awesome. I have not. So for you guys in the room who don't know what that means, when you're first due at a fire, you're the first one to arrive. Your apparatus is the first one. You're pulling the first line and you're making an initial fire attack, right? It's like you're breaking your cherry as a firefighter. It's awesome, okay? Kids, ask your parents what that means later. Anyway. I've never had a first in, right? I'm in a big department. There's a lot of sprinklers. It just hasn't happened, right? I was talking to Captain Jones. There you are, handsome. Matthew McConaughey looking son of a gun. Look at you, man. All right. My wife's here, dude. Chill out. Anyway. I've never had a first stint. And it happens. Me and him were talking about it last night. And he said something really interesting. He said the stars have to align to get it. And you got to think about that, right? To get a first due fire, you have to be working that day. It has to be in your area. Your engineer has to not be sleeping on the couch, right? Inside joke, you guys get it? All right. There's a lot of things that have to happen. I was driving in from Austin yesterday, and I was on the other side of San Angelo from here. And you guys have been out there. Beautiful. There's not a whole lot out there. Farms and ranches, it is what it is. And I look off in the distance, and I see a smokestack. And I'm looking at it, and it's black, thick, turbulent smoke. And I'm like, that's a house fire. That's a structure fire. Oh, my God. And I was like, well, the boys around here are probably taking care of it, right? And so as I'm getting closer to it, I look, and nothing's changing. Usually when you put water on a fire, the smoke changes, right? It'll turn colors or whatever, right? But nothing, just still chugging. I'm like, oh, something's going on over there. And I don't know. I've never done this before. I don't know why I did it. Something in my head was like, dude, go over there. Go to that fire. It'll be sick. Like, who thinks like that, right? So I go over here. I pull down the road, and sure enough, I pull up, and it's like I'm not even talking to you guys anymore. Talk amongst yourself. Listen, boys, guys, fellas, it was beautiful, right? Single story, residential structure, fire coming from the Charlie side, thick, thing's chugging like grandpa's pipe. You know what I'm talking about? And I walk up, and I'm like, no way, dude. And this farmer pulls up, and I think he's going to be like, my supermodel granddaughter's in there. Can you save her? And I'm like, you bet your ass I can, you know? I'm thinking of guts and glory, and I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be sick. And I'm like, hey, is everything all right? He goes, yeah, my tire shed's on fire. Is that a thing here? Do you guys just keep your tires in sheds? I go, oh, cool. So he goes, yeah, the shed where I keep my tires. I'm like, well, it's all in the name, tire shed, right on. Cool. I was like, is everybody okay? He goes, yeah, everybody's safe. Just waiting for these volunteer firefighters to get here. And I was like, all right. I was like, hey man, I'm a firefighter from Austin. Do you mind if I help you out? And he goes, yeah, for sure. So I go to the back, and boys, it is ripping, dude. I'm talking fully involved. I'm like, whoa, this is hotter than my ex-girlfriend. I miss you. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. She sucked. Anyway, I roll up, and we get a garden hose. I'm like, connect like 3 garden hoses. Some other old boy shows up, and we're like spraying it. There's like a barn with his tractor. We're like trying to cool that off. We're hitting the area around it to not start a brush fire. And I'm like, oh, man, you got anything better than this fire hose? He goes, oh yeah, I got a water tank in here. Got 250 gallons in it with a 2-inch hose connected to it. I'm like, oh cool, so a small fire truck. That's pretty much what you have, a small fire truck? He goes, yeah, you could call it that. I'm like, cool, let's get that out here, man. Let's get that going. And guys, he pulled that out, and we like charged the line, and it had a valve on it. It was like a smooth bore. I got my first in. Sick. Here's the deal. It doesn't matter what you believe in God-wise or whatever, if you believe in an afterlife, a higher power, I don't know. There's not a doubt in my mind that Easy didn't send me that fire. There's not a doubt in my mind that he was like, hey, bro, you're going to be a bro for me. I'm going to be a bro for you. But he also pulled a prank, and he was like, I'm going to make him think it's a house fire, and it's just a tire shed fire. Am I right? Guys, usually at the end of one of these, I say thank you for your time. I say I'm Maverick McWilliams and all this stuff. But guys, tonight, I really want you guys to give it up for Odessa Fire and Rescue, for all the people here, and most of all, for Lieutenant Huerta, who's watching over all of us. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Bye.
I'll tell you what, that takes some guts. And I believe that Lieutenant Huerta was honored very well, Maverick, right there with all of that. So thank you for coming and making us laugh today. At this point, Mariah, I'm going to go ahead and invite you up to the stage. There are several family members and loved ones and good friends that are going to come share some more stories with us, a few more laughs. And so we will start right here with Lieutenant Huerta's beautiful wife, Mariah. She'll be right back, she said.
I don't know how I'm going to follow up after that, but I'm going to really bring the mood down really hard. First off, Maverick, my husband, I don't know where you went, but my husband would have absolutely loved that, so thank you so much for that. Okay. Whew. I'm so sorry, guys. All right. Hello, everyone. Many of you know who I am. However, if you don't know me, Isai would introduce me as his cousin. He would give me a kiss, and then he would say that I was his kissing cousin. But my name is Mariah, and I'm his wife. And although this is the hardest thing I have to do, it gets me really excited to speak about the man I love and I got to know so well over the past 5 years. Whenever we met, the first words that came out of his mouth were not to date firemen. Then he proceeded to find me on Instagram, follow me, flirt with me, but was too scared to DM me. So I messaged him first, and he took so much pride in that. Soon after that, we were inseparable. I was lucky enough to see Isai in a different light than anyone had the chance to. I'm not a pretty crier, so if I start crying, I'm so sorry. Whenever we met, he shined brighter than anyone I had ever known, and it was really important to me to never dim that light of his. I have never laughed so harder in my entire life than the last 5 years that I had the opportunity to know him. I had also never felt so loved and cared for. Isai hated silly questions like the typical, "How much do you love me?" But he also entertained them in his own kind of way. He would tell me that he loved me $6.87 worth. Whenever I asked him where that number came from, he told me that it was all he had left in his bank account at the time, and he would give it all to me if I needed it. Oh, I'm sorry. You couldn't be sensitive around him or the jokes that he made, and that also applied to me as well. He never hesitated to talk about how big my forehead was, and if I leaned too much one way, that I might tip right over. But at the same time, he kept begging to leave me hickeys on my forehead. It's like an odd and interesting request, and yes, it got turned down frequently. Eventually, he stopped asking me that. Although he talked about how massive my head is, he also made sure to tell me all the time that my head is so big because of that big-ass brain I carry. Okay. He's the reason why I decided to go back to school to be a nurse practitioner, because he said he would promise to make the process as easy as he could, supporting me mentally, physically, and financially. However, he did not hesitate to say that whenever I graduated, his last name would be on my degree, and that he would be a stay-at-home with the 6 children he always talked about wanting. Ooh. The day we got married was October 31st, 2025, and it was the most perfect and fitting day for us. As it is, Halloween is our favorite holiday, and that started when he dressed like a hooker in 2022. That was also the first time he has ever celebrated Halloween. He always went all or nothing with everything he did, and I was there to support all of his nonsense. Going back to the day we got married, we went to the courthouse, shocked the judge with tattoos on our fingers instead of rings, had a mini photo shoot, went to go eat at our favorite restaurant, and watched our favorite hockey team play. We went back to our house where we had a Halloween party, and we told no one that we were married, and we felt like little kids hiding a secret. We were just giggling with each other the whole entire time. Isai also had many different ways of calming me down whenever I would get anxious or stressed, and I would have tears welt up in my eyes. He used to hug me and make me jump up and down. He also did this whenever we would bicker back and forth, and automatically the disagreement was over. Because who fights while they're jumping up and down like we just won the Grand Slam? The relationship was way better than a grand slam. It was filled with love and laughter. Flower vases that never went empty. Letters on mirrors for motivation. Home-cooked meals to get me through the week. Staying up till midnight, hearing each other sing, and conversations about everyone and everything. So if you ever pissed my husband off, I probably got an earful of whatever mistake you made. He was never wrong, by the way. Although this is a love I will miss forever, I feel so honored to be the one that he had got to spend the rest of his life with. This has been the most hardest and heartbreaking thing I've ever done in my entire life. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been supportive throughout all this time. I'm going to forget a lot of people, but thank you to everyone. From family and friends everywhere who've come to celebrate Isai, the city of Odessa for the help, everyone who donated and supported me and his family. Obviously, a huge thank you to Odessa Fire Rescue. And I know that they're hurting as well, but the planning and coordination of all this has really been spectacular. Thank you to all the firemen from everywhere, truly, for showing up. He would absolutely die. Just love seeing this. A last huge thank you to Randon and Ryan. The pain of losing a best friend has had to be unbearable, but the support that you guys have both given me will never, ever be forgotten. Thank you guys all for celebrating Isai. He would love how much support and love has been shown, and wifey Huerta is out. Thank you guys.
Absolutely beautiful job, Mariah. Thank you so much for being so brave and sharing your heart with us. At this time, I will invite up to the stage sweet brother of Lieutenant Huerta, Octavio.
Over the last couple of days, I've tried to remember stories about him, and it's so weird that I can't remember. And I know I spent so much time with him, and my mind just feels blank. But I just want to keep his legacy alive and talk about him, and then just try to keep that comedy alive. So I do have a joke. Why did the firefighter bring a ladder to the bar? He heard the drinks were on the house. Okay. I do want to thank Maverick, Timu Zac Efron. He was amazing. We have heard from his beautiful wife, Mariah. Not Randon, Mariah. She is my new sister, and really new because I didn't know they were married. Mariah and Isai just made sense. She just made him happier, made him better somehow, responsible-ish. And they loved each other, that they got those matching till death tattoos, which I just wish I would have reviewed the terms and conditions on that, or extended warranty, I don't know. No solamente era un esposo, era un hijo. Gente me ha preguntado quién era el favorito. Y aunque mis papás siempre dicen que no hay un favorito, se me hace bien raro que dejaron de tener hijos después de Isai. Como que tuvieron los primeros dos y luego trataron de alcanzar esa perfección, y honestamente sí lo lograron con Isai. Sorry, sister. But he was my little brother. when I first met him, he couldn't walk, he couldn't talk, he couldn't hold his head up. And while I can't remember very many stories, I do remember who he was. He was so smart, even when he was little. He had so much empathy for those that he knew. If you were on call and he was mean to you, that doesn't apply. But he was so spoiled. Like, we loved him so much. And I'm really proud of being able to watch him become such a hardworking man. Like, just following in the footsteps of my dad, where he just became a loving husband and just was willing to do everything and anything for you. He was a badass brother. And speaking of asses, like, why are there so many pictures of his butt? And the crazy thing is, they're like from different periods of his life. It wasn't just like yesterday. It was like since he was little, and they're all different locations. It was like a lifestyle. And while the family makes no apologies about that, I'm sure HR is like preparing mandatory harassment training for y'all. But no pun intended, seeing my little brother become a great man, a man who brought so much joy and laughter, lived a full life full of love, it does bring me some comfort. Brother, I'm just so glad I got the opportunity to experience life with you. Our double dates, our family trips, the concerts. One of our first concerts was where he became a little monster. Little Monster was born. So I'd like to finish with some words from our Lady Gaga. I'm your biggest fan. I'll follow you until you love me. Paparazzi. Baby, there's no other superstar. You know that I'll be your paparazzi. Thank you for all your support. Muchas gracias a todos por estar aquí, por la familia, por estar presente, por estar unidos. I want to say that I love all of y'all, except for you. I don't know you. But thank you.
Man, Maverick, I think we found your opening act here with Octavio. Y'all can hit the road together after this. Beautiful job. I'll invite up to the stage now Cindy Granados, Lieutenant Huerta's sister.
Hello, everyone. So I know everybody's, sharing stories of him as an adult and everybody who got to know him at the department. And I want to share a little bit about him as a child. So I'm Isai's sister. I'm his oldest sister. Obviously not the perfect one, but I was 12 when Isai was born. So he was like my real life baby doll. I took care of him like he was my own child. I would play with him, bathe him, just try to make him happy in any way that I could. From the moment that we brought him home from the hospital, he was a big deal. He united our family. He made us whole. So to see the family that he has created here with you guys and everybody who's here, it warms my heart. And I love that he was a big deal to you guys. And I love the way you honored him today, the way you came in The way you brought him in, it was beautiful. I'll love you forever for that. Thank you. The pain you feel from losing your baby brother is imaginable. But I'm glad I got to be a part of him since the beginning, through all his phases of life. And there was a lot. With every single phase, he went so hard. Isai tenía muchas etapas de su vida. Desde que estaba chiquito, él le gustaba hacer muchas cosas diferentes y lo hacía hasta lo máximo. The first phase I can remember was skateboarding. La primera era patinar. He said, "Sister, can you buy me a skateboard?" And of course, he was so spoiled. I'm like, yeah, of course. He was my little brother. So I imagined buying him a whole skateboard, just picking up a skateboard. Lo primero que me preguntó, me dijo, "Hermana, ¿me puedes comprar algo para patinar?" Le dije yo, sí, pues por supuesto, ¿verdad? Era mi hermanito el chiquito. No, he was bougie. He didn't want a whole skateboard. He wanted to buy it piece by piece, put it together. He always knew what he wanted. Él quería hacer algo especial, no quería comprarlo todo entero, quería comprarlo pedazo por pedazo, porque pues él siempre quería de lo bueno, hacía todo hasta lo máximo. That year, he wore his hair long. He straightened it, because he has curly hair. He straightened it. He wore it like Justin Bieber across his eyes. He wore baggy jeans, baggy shirts, skater shoes, and he learned tricks on the coolest board. Ese año se peinaba, se enlaceaba su pelo, que le cubriera un ojo, se vestía con la ropa floja, y él aprendió a hacer diferentes cosas cuando patinaba. He always went so hard with everything. Hacía todo hasta lo máximo. He wanted to learn self-defense. So we put him in MMA and jiu-jitsu. Él quería aprender a defenderse, entonces lo pusimos a que aprendiera diferentes técnicas de defenderse. And I almost regret it. Because him, as a 14-year-old boy, he would put me in submissions that I couldn't get out of. Me agarraba el cuello y no me soltaba. And I would tell him, for real, Isai, let me go, I can't. And he would just laugh. He would just laugh that laugh. And y'all know it. Y'all know that laugh I'm talking about. As I'm beginning to pass out, all I could hear was just that laugh. Y le decía yo, Isai, por favor, suéltame, ya no puedo respirar. Y él se reía y se reía. He went so hard. Lo hacía hasta lo máximo, todo. Con los tatuajes, with his tattoos. Mind you, our family was against tattoos. They never were for it. They were always like, no, your body is a temple. You're not supposed to get tattoos. And as a kid, he would describe the type of tattoos he wanted. He would say, "Sister, I want a dragon." He said, "I want a dragon and I want to go from here all the way to here." Me decía, quiero ponerme unos tatuajes. Dijo, me quiero poner un dragón desde aquí hasta acá. And me, in my head, it sounded crazy. It sounded like this is a little boy wanting to get this dragon tattoo, but I would go along with it because he was so passionate about everything and the way he talked about it. Y yo siempre entre mí decía, ay no, pues este es un niño, o sea, el que piensa de tatuajes, pero pues yo lo conocía y él tenía mucha pasión para todo lo que él hacía, lo que él hablaba. As soon as he could afford it, he got a full arm sleeve. Guess what was on it? That dragon. En cuanto pudo pagar por los tatuajes, ¿qué piensan que se puso? El dragón en el brazo. But he went so hard that not only did he do his arm, He did his stomach. He did his chest. He did his back. And he said his next tattoo would be on his butt cheeks. Y no solo se tatuó un brazo, se tatuó el pecho, se tatuó la espalda y dijo que para la próxima vez que se quería tatuar las nalgas. Pero no pudo. He was a work of art. His body and his soul. He was a beautiful person. Era arte él. Su cuerpo. Todo él era hermoso. Era una hermosa persona. He loved being a fireman. His favorite runs involved putting out fires. Él encantaba ser bomberos. A él le gustaba cuando le hablaban y era un incendio. Le gustaba hacer eso a él. And as cliche as it sounds, he literally died doing what he loved. Él amaba su trabajo. He loved it. I love you, little brother. I just wish you hadn't gone as hard on death as you did on everything else. Te amo, Isai. Te amo por siempre. Lo único que me puedes es que te fuiste al máximo con esto también. I'll miss you forever. Lo extrañaré para siempre. Los amo a ustedes. Y'all are going to live in my heart forever. And I appreciate you. Los aprecio a todos. Muchas gracias.
Beautiful job, Cindy. I'll invite Lieutenant Clayton King up to the stage next.
Good evening. I don't think I ever heard Huerta call me by my real name. It was usually either Mijo or Clarence or Kingeling, Mr. Kingeling. Mariah, I know you like Kingeling, so we're going to go with that one today. I had the honor of being Huerta's partner for almost 2 years when I was at Station 4. During that time, I was finishing out my rookie year and in the middle of paramedics. For all the firemen here, I know you guys know that's a pretty stressful time in our career. Now imagine doing it with Huerta. I don't really mean that in a derogatory way, but I truly believe that every night when he would go to sleep before coming to work, he would dream about all the ways that he was going to push my buttons when he got there. Because when he found a button, he would usually push it until the paint wore off and the screws came out. I don't know how many times I sat down at the table to eat a sandwich I worked really hard on, and I'd find a piece of printer paper or a napkin hidden inside of it. Many long nights on the medic, no sleep. Just runs all night long. All I wanted to do was come back to the station and lay down in my bed. For those of you that know me, you know I like a clean bed. I don't like people in my bed. I'd walk in my door and there'd be a Huerta-sized lump under the covers. I'd pull the covers back and he would be butt naked in my bed. Every single time. Taking showers, I've had cups of water, eggs, ice, you name it, thrown over the shower door. All these antics would usually end with us wrestling on the ground in the kitchen or the living room for 15, 20 minutes, screaming, sweaty. Captain Brumbelow, I know you can attest to that. For the things that you saw during the day, you wouldn't be able to imagine the things that you should have seen when your door was closed at night. And I'm not going to tell those stories here. I am truly grateful and thankful to have Huerta a part of my life. He was such a good partner. He was such a great friend and brother, and I will truly always be so grateful to say those things. He was arguably one of the best firefighters we had in this department. An amazing firefighter, an impeccable paramedic. There will never be another lieutenant like him. But those of you in here will agree with me that the thing he was the best at was making us laugh, making us smile at the department. It didn't matter what you were going through at home or the bad runs you'd made during the day. You wouldn't have time to think about him or worry about him because he would be sticking an open-faced peanut butter and jelly sandwich on your bald head, or pieces of cheese and eggs, or just licking it. The amount of times he's licked my head is insane. Mariah, he loved you more than words are ever going to be able to express. Huerta's family, he loved you guys just as much. Everyone in this room loves you just as much. Huerta made the ultimate sacrifice. He's an altruist. The absolute most unselfish act that you can make is what Huerta did. We cannot and we will not, as a department, take that for granted. We honor him from now on by being our absolute best, by doing our absolute best. We honor him by serving the community as he would have and as he did, and he gave his life for it. Huerta, you left us a hero. You will always be a hero. I love you, mijo.
I can feel fire admins squirming just a little bit with some of these stories, but I was standing back here thinking, this is why y'all are so close, because this is what real siblings do. They wrestle in the middle of the kitchen, they push each other's buttons, and that's why you have the brotherhood and sisterhood you did. So as someone on the outside, I'm thankful to get to hear about how close y'all's family really is through all of these fun memories today. We will welcome up now retired Captain Orlando Villanueva.
Hello, my name is Orlando Villanueva. Not going to take too much time today. Spent 22 years at the fire department. Been away from fire service for a couple years. Just want to talk about my little pal, Huerta, today. Met Huerta later in my career. We were in different seasons. I was closing up my career. He was getting it going. But as so many people know, a lot of lives were touched by Huerta. Looking around this room, it's easy to see that. A lot of hearts impacted. Met Huerta, worked with Huerta over at Station 9. I loved all my crews throughout my career. Huerta became an honorary member of my crew, as much overtime as he worked. That boy worked a lot of overtime. He cared a lot about everybody, made a lot of people laugh. And here recently, spent a lot of time together out on the golf course. I look forward to those times. Every meeting with him began with, "Hey, Big O, let you out of the nursing home today. Got the day pass." I look forward to that. I look forward to that laugh. I look forward to spending the day with him, listening to his playlist. He was all over the place. It'd go from corridos to gaga to country to everything, but that was something that I looked forward to, and just being with him. He was also a good cook. I looked forward to the meals he would make at the station. The boy could cook, whether it was discada, tacos, you name it. He could whip it up. Damn good cook. Huerta was special to me, an old retired fireman. He always took the time to stay in touch. He didn't have to, but he did. He checked in, he reached out, and reminded me that bonds forged in the fire service don't end when the uniform comes off. It's hard to accept that he's gone. Truth is, I wish none of us were here for this reason today. I wish this tragedy had never happened. He should still be here, making memories, serving the community, and sharing laughs with us. But if there's any comfort to be found, it's knowing that Huerta lived a life that mattered, left an imprint on people. His legacy is not going to be measured in years, but the lives he touched, the friendships he built, and the love he gave so freely. To his wife and family, please know that you do not grieve alone. We all stand behind you. The fire service family stands behind you. We mourn with you. We hurt with you. We'll carry his memory on for the rest of our lives. To Huertita, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for never forgetting that us old guys. Thank you for your service, your loyalty, and your heart. We'll miss you. I'll miss you. We remember you always, and we will carry you with us every time. Your brothers and sisters in the fire service will carry you every time they answer the call. Honor him. That way, continue to answer the call. Thank y'all very much.
We are now going to hear from friend Cole Retberg.
How's it going, guys? This is where our friendship started. Golfing, drinking, and just having a blast. I heard Ryan say that he hated digging trenches. Not with this, he didn't. When I first met him, I actually forgot his name on probably hole 4 or 5. And like any logical person would do, didn't ask him his name again, just made up a new name and just called him Chalupa. And that evolved to Chalupa Baby, and then that's how it's been. Isai was a simple man with an even simpler taste. When I think of the term having it made, I think about big money, mansions, exotic cars, and if you asked Isai that same question, he would tell you exactly what he already had. He had a job that he loved, a stray dog that he called his own, a little house out west, and most importantly, a wife that's about to finish school. And he'd tell me, Cole, as soon as her first paycheck hits, I'm buying 5 or 6 pairs of shoes. If she gets paid on a Monday, come Tuesday, there's nothing to show for. He was happy, and he had everything he needed. Everything extra, golfing, friends, anything was gravy on top. He loved Odessa. Whenever I talked about leaving, as most people here would probably understand, he'd always tell me, Cole, what can you find in Fort Worth that you can't find in Odessa? And somehow I would lose that argument 10 out of 10 times. Lord, thank you for giving me the opportunity to make these incredible memories with Isai. And Lord, thank you for giving me a hero to call a friend. We got it here, Chalupa. Love you forever. Thank you.
To close out our speakers today, please welcome to the stage Lieutenant Randon Hayes.
Man, he would love this. This is incredible. My name is Randon. I'm a lieutenant with Odessa Fire Rescue, or as Huerta would call me, Randy Poo. I'm proud to stand before everybody today and say that I was Easy's best friend, as he was mine. When we were stationed together, partners, riding the ambulance, fire truck together, every stranger we ran into at work, outside of work, he would always introduce me as his partner. And he would follow it up with, we also work together. He was always so proud to tell everybody about me. I would walk into a room and be meeting a stranger, and then be like, we've heard so much about you. And I'd just look at Easy every time. Like, all right, man. We spent a ton of time together, so much I would always ask, is Mariah okay with this? I always thought one day that she would cut him off from us hanging out or talking on the phone. But that's not who Mariah is. I'm so happy that y'all found each other, because I was exhausted. I've never seen two people that just mesh together so well, that were just like peanut butter and ladies. They just go together. You made him incredibly happy. Watching y'all grow in y'all's relationship just made me a very proud friend, or son, because Huerta would always offer to adopt me, even though I'm a grown man. We talked about y'all's dreams and goals, and the funny thing was, I was always a part of them. He used to joke that when Mariah graduated and started working, him and I were going to go on some extravagant vacation. And I would always ask, yeah, you know, whatever Mariah wants to do, and he would always tell me, she's not going to be there. He was so proud of you, Mariah. Everyone's been telling me how much Huerta would talk about me to them, but when we were together, it was always about you. No one plans to lose their best friend. Out of all the training I've received through my career, I could have never been prepared for this. And I'm just very thankful that I had the opportunity of knowing such a unicorn of a person. I'm also very thankful to Mariah and the Huerta family. As y'all have told me, y'all appreciate me being there for y'all. I've appreciated y'all being there for me. I'm also very happy that he did not leave without making a bunch of memories first. I've been going through pictures and voicemails and text messages and just wondered, how? How is there so many photo shoots? I don't even remember all these. For the past month, we got the opportunity to play a ton of golf together. And y'all may not know this, but it took probably 2 years for me to get Huerta on a golf course. He would always tell me, Randy Poo, if I want to take a nap, I'll go play golf with you. I always explained how much fun it was and how I wanted to do it together. He never wanted to do something that he wasn't good at, especially in front of other people. I always told him that it was a good thing he was born as a firefighter and paramedic, or he wouldn't have a career. After years of effort, he calls me one day and tells me he played his first round of golf. And the first thing he asked me is, why did you not tell me how much fun this was? After that day, he was hooked. We golfed every season, every storm, every temperature. There wasn't much that was going to keep him off the course. He would always call me and surprise me with the tee time for the day I got off shift. And he wouldn't leave me alone until I told him I was going to go. What an honor it was having Huerta as a friend. One thing about Isai is whenever he was your friend, he was all in. It was never 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I always felt that when I saw him anywhere, there was just less stress and more fun in my life. We were our biggest competitors. We pushed each other at every mark in our lives. We were trying to do everything in our careers together. When I became a paramedic, we tried to be the best paramedics. I'm glad to say that I'm still better. We got our degrees together. We took the lieutenant's test together. And he took the captain's test without me and told me, it's okay because they're going to promote me and they'll put us back together. And I'll get to see my Randy Poo every day. Huerta possessed every attribute of a captain. He was a leader, a mentor, a teacher, and he was so incredibly smart. In mine and many others' eyes, he earned the title as captain. All the way to the end. Huerta Poo, I will forever miss you. I am so proud of you, and I need you to know that it is okay. I will be there for Mariah and your family forever. Thank you for being the friend that you were, even though I did not deserve you. I love you, mijo. As Huerta would say, okay, bye.
And last but not least, this is 100% my mistake. We want to welcome to the stage Lieutenant Huerta's dad, Ramiro Huerta. He wants a chance to say a few words, and we would all be honored to hear from you.
Buenas tardes. Me llena mi corazón ver tanta gente como amaba a mi hijo, especialmente mi familia de sangre. Les quiero decir gracias por soportar este tiempo duro. Han sido un gran apoyo para mí y les quiero decir que los amo a todos ustedes. También quiero dar gracias a todos aquellos que lo conocieron y que no lo conocieron y que nos están apoyando. A su familia de bomberos, ¿verdad?, que él los miraba como su familia también. Doy gracias a Dios por que Dios lo puso en mi familia. Y quiero compartirles un poco, ¿verdad? Ya todos compartieron de su trabajo, de lo que yo ya no experimentaba con él. Pero yo les quiero compartir un poco, ¿verdad?, de su niñez hasta sus 18 años, que estuvo en mi casa, que tiempos que compartimos, cómo fue su vida desde niño, ¿verdad? Y les quiero compartir un poco. Les quiero compartir un poco de quién fue Isai en casa. Él fue un niño poco hiperactivo, pero muy inteligente, que en la escuela le alaban a mi esposa, que hablaba mucho, y la razón era que acababa su trabajo de lo que lo ponían a hacer muy pronto por su inteligencia. Y le quedaba tiempo para hablar y desconcentrar a los demás niños, al punto que nos aconsejaban que lo pusiéramos bajo medicamento para calmarlo, y no estábamos de acuerdo en hacerlo. Y siguen más historias. Me recuerdo que cuando falleció mi abuelo, hablaron que un niño andaba arriba del techo de la funeraria, y me codea a mi esposa y me dice: es Isai. Se había subido por el poste de donde se pone la bandera, y le digo: abájate, y se abraza del poste y se abaja sin batallar. Pasaba mucho tiempo brincando en un trampolín, y como iba creciendo, más le gustaba mucho las patinetas, como dijo mi hija, ¿verdad? Y de allí brincó a jugar luchas, como también mi hija les compartía. Las motocicletas, hasta que llegó al tiempo de que se graduó de la Odessa High. De regalo tuvo una troca 2015, 250 negra, y le encantaba lavarla todo el tiempo. Esa troca fue pérdida total, y ya nunca más le llenó el ojo otra troca. Que las dos siguientes que tuvo ni siquiera las lavó. Él era Isai. Se me pasaba algo muy importante. Le gustaba pasar tiempo conmigo, que tenía la oportunidad de llevármelo conmigo a mi trabajo de la edad de 3, 4 años, a los juegos de fútbol. Y regresando a salir de las puertas del estadio, se quedaba dormido y lo abajaba en brazos de lo cansado que andaba. Y esos abrazos se quedan tatuados en mi cuerpo. Mi amado hijo, te amo por siempre, y te quiero dar las gracias a toda mi familia una vez más. Tu nombre se queda grabado en mi corazón, Isai. Como yo le decía, mi perrón. Quisiera que mi sobrino me interpretara por todos los que no entendieron el idioma español. Gracias.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of my uncle, Ramiro, he would like to extend a huge, huge hug to his firefighter family that he loved and took to be as one of his own. His family for the support, for the love, and unconditionally. I'm gonna translate the letter that he wrote for everyone to understand what he wrote. And it reads as it follows. I would like to share a little of who Isai was at home. He was a little boy, a little hyperactive, but very intelligent. When he was in school, they would call my wife Elvira and say he talked too much. The reason behind this was because he would finish his work faster than the rest of his classmates and had extra time to pester them and play with them. To the point, they talked to them about possibly having calming medication, which they did not agree with. There are many more stories that follow. I remember when my grandfather passed away, and as we gathered as family, someone shouted that there was a little boy on the roof of the funeral home. And at that moment, my wife Elvira nudged me and whispered, "That's Isai." He had climbed the flagpole. I remember telling him to get down, and as he hugged the pole, he slid down with ease. Isai would spend a lot of time jumping on his trampoline, and as time went on and he grew and got into skateboarding, and from skateboarding, he went into mixed martial arts, and then into motorcycles. Then came the time of his Odessa High graduation. As his gift, he received a black 2015 Chevrolet 2500, which he loved washing it and detailing it all the time. When this truck was totaled, not another truck filled it like it did. The following two trucks didn't get all the affection his first one did. This was Isai, and something else very important, that he loved spending time with me, and that I had the opportunity to take him with me everywhere I went. To work, at the age of 3, I would take him to the softball games, and once they were finished, as we headed out, he would be asleep before we reached the stadium gates. Upon arriving home, I would take him in my arms, still asleep from how tired he was. And the hugs he would give me will forever be tattooed in my heart. My beloved son, I love you and forever will. Your name and memory stay in my heart forever, Isai. My uncle Ramiro wants to thank the family and everyone for the support. Thank you.
Una vez más, ¿verdad? Quería dar gracias, ya que están de pie, darle la gloria a mi Dios por haberme dado un hijo tan maravilloso, algo especial para mí. Gracias, Padre, porque me has dado la oportunidad de crecer ese niño a llegar a ser lo que llegó a ser. Yo hice lo mejor que pude. Él lo demás lo hizo por su por su voluntad, por lo que él quería, porque era un niño terco, porque como decía mi hija, cuando él quería algo, lo quería y lo lograba lo que él quería. Permisos que no le queríamos dar hasta que nos convencía. Así era mi hijo Isai. Yo te doy gracias, Padre, por mi hijo. Gracias, mil gracias por él. Es un peor día de mi vida no tenerte, jamás no volverte a ver. Gracias, familia, los amo por soportarme y gracias por ustedes, la familia de trabajo. Gracias por haberlo cuidado hasta su último momento. De todo corazón se los agradezco. Mil gracias. Bendiciones. Dios los bendiga.
What a beautiful job y'all did raising Isai. Terry Brumelo is going to come to the stage now.
It's crazy to hear all the similarities between all the stories and what I'm about to tell you as well. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Terry Brumbelow. I have the privilege of working with Huerta. For those of you who do know me, well, you know I have trouble speaking in a room with 10 people. So the fact that I'm standing up here in front of this crowd shows just how much Huerta meant to not just me, but most people in this room. Huerta always did like making people a little uncomfortable at times. So between me standing up here speaking today and the number of times I've told grown men I love you the past week, it shows me that he's still at it. Just bear with me as I stumble through this. I first met Huerta when he hired on with OFR. When we first met, I had my reservations, just like I do with most people until they prove themselves. And if you know Huerta, you know it didn't take him long to sink his claws into you. I'm sure that's true for just about everybody who knew him. I had the privilege of being stationed with him at Station 4 for about 3 years. We did life together. He was always around. When my wife's family would have a get-together, Huerta would be invited, and of course he fit right in. They loved him too. When he wasn't there, they would ask where he was, because that's just the kind of impression he left on people. Some of my favorite memories with him was our Christmas parties, and if you ever had the privilege of being at one of those with Huerta, I'm sure those memories stand out to you as well. In every good crew, there's that one person who makes the crew work, the person who brings everyone together and somehow makes all the different personalities mesh. Huerta was that guy. We spend a third of our lives with our crew members, and when you do that, sometimes people get on each other's nerves. When that happened, Huerta was there, and he always knew exactly how to change the tone of the room. He would turn everybody from being irritated to laughing with a single sentence. One thing I learned not to do around him was when I didn't want to smile, I'd try not to look at him because he'd catch you and make some random face and have you grinning from ear to ear before you knew it. I also had the privilege of going hunting with Huerta many times. Sometimes sitting in the stand can feel like it's time is standing still, especially when you're not seeing anything. But if you were sitting with Huerta, you knew it wasn't going to be the case. I remember how proud he was when he got his own rifle. It wasn't the fanciest thing in the world, but it got the job done more than a few times. And when we bring deer back to clean it, and you probably saw in some of the pictures, he somehow managed to make that entertaining too. I always loved when Huerta cooked at the fire station. The man knew how to heat things up. I'd walk into the kitchen and he'd be talking to his mom on speakerphone in Spanish. I had no idea what they were saying, but I always knew by the way the food tasted that she had gotten her point across. And speaking for myself and probably most of the firefighters in this room, we appreciate those meals more than you know. I remember one time at the dinner table, Huerta and King started wrestling, and I told Huerta, he was brand new with our crew, and I told him, "You better watch out, King's gonna wrap you up." Well, they went at it so long that we got bored sitting at the table. About 30 minutes later, we came back, and they're still rolling around in a pool of sweat. From that day on, I promised not to ever underestimate him. My years are filled with memories with him at OFR, the many weddings and events we attended together, the night him and King made a grab, and how proud I was of him. The way he executed that call just solidified what kind of firefighter he was. The time he almost got beat up by a blind guy. Not really, but the blind guy sure thought he was going to. The Arbor Day shift when he showed up with plants and made us all go outside and plant them. Or the random times I would catch him in my side mirror getting my attention while he was hanging out the road while we were driving down the road. As you saw in one of those videos earlier. Even after we got moved to different stations, we stayed close. Always enjoyed going on runs and seeing Huerta show up. It just made you feel good when he was around. There are so many stories I could stand up here and tell, and you've heard many already. And that's because Huerta had a way of making himself part of your life. Then he met Mariah. Mariah, you really did complete him. I want to thank you for making him so happy. Huerta spent so much of his life making the rest of us happy, but I can stand here with complete confidence and say that you made him happy. I always knew he was taken care of because you were in his life. He would joke, just like you had said, and once you finished school, he was going to quit working and let you take care of him. Looking back, I think he was just halfway joking. To Huerta's family, thank y'all for sharing him with us. We know he was the man we loved because of the family that raised him. Huerta, I love you. Thank you for the laughs, the memories, the friendships, and the example you set for all of us. You made our stations better, you made our crews better, and you made our lives better. Thank you.
Lieutenant Randon Haynes is going to make his way back up here. And while he is presenting this, I wanted to let you know that this flag that will now be presented to the family, it was flown over the United States Capitol by the request of Congressman the Honorable August Pfluger to recognize the ultimate sacrifice in service that Lieutenant Huerta made. And so the flag presentation will occur now. This is now the conclusion of Lieutenant Isai Huerta's memorial service. Lieutenant Huerta's family, friends, brothers, and sisters in service, they thank you for coming here today to honor a servant hero. We will now transition to the honors portion of this service, so please stay seated until the honors portion of the service is completed. And then once concluded, please exit the building.
All uniformed personnel, attend, huh!
Dispatch to Lieutenant Huerta. Dispatch to Lieutenant Huerta. Dispatch to bunker number 232, Lieutenant Isai Huerta. Lieutenant Huerta, we thank you for your 9 years of dedicated service to the citizens of Odessa, Ector County, and the great state of Texas. You answered the call to serve others with courage, honor, and selflessness. Your commitment to your community, your department, and your fire family will never be forgotten. Fighters you served beside and the citizens you protected will carry your memory forward. With heavy hearts, we acknowledge your last alarm on June 14th, 2026. Lieutenant Isai Huerta, bunker number 232, you are now clear of duty. We thank you for your service, your dedication, and your ultimate sacrifice. Rest in peace, brother. Your shift is complete. We will take it from here. Dispatch cleared.
Present arms.
beginning of a firefighter's career starts by the ringing of the bell. So now we will ring this bell to signal the beginning, and now to signal the end. For our brother Isai, the bell will ring 3 times in tribute to his service, his dedication, and his ultimate sacrifice.
Present arm. Order. On. uniformed personnel, this concludes the honors portion of our service. Dismissed.